Let me start with the obvious question. Why Beijing? What are you doing there? What are you looking for?
Well, we have a great meeting with a number of our co-investors, including China Investment Corporation, Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, China Development Bank. It's all in light of President Putin's visit to China, which will start tomorrow. And that's a visit to continue promoting ties between Russia and China, to continue to do joint great investment projects together and cooperate better on a world stage.
And are the prospects for those sorts of joint investment projects greater now because of the difficulties that the United States is having with Russia and vice versa?
Well, we have lots of investment flows from Asia, from Middle East, and we do see that lots of Chinese companies are now much more active working with Russia. But we continue to be open to European businesses, to American businesses. We believe that geopolitical tensions will settle at some point, and business will prevail. And our partners from all over the world continue to make positive returns in dollars in Russia, even in these challenging times.
What has been the practical effect of investment from either the United States or Western Europe into Russia because of the sanctions?
Well, definitely fewer players are investing right now from Europe and the US, but nothing precludes them from co-investing with us or in Russia. And actually we see that in a number of Russian IPOs, lots of US and European investors are participating. There is definitely less banking activity in Europe that we see, but lots of that activity is replaced by Chinese banks.
What we've seen also is that Russia has really benefited from stronger oil prices and the weaker ruble. It's like a double win for you guys. That could be changed if we see OPEC actually increasing output as well as Russia. What's your expectation for Russian output in the back half of this year as well as for the first half of 2019?
Well, first of all, definitely our cooperation with Saudi Arabia and with OPEC has been incredibly successful. Oil prices are stable and we are able to bring back investment into the industry that was lacking. And I think as part of this cooperation it's possible to change targets, to have bigger output cuts or smaller output cuts. But the key fact is that this cooperation exists and it's a very important factor for stability of the market. So we expect oil prices to be reasonably stable. They definitely benefit Saudi economy, that definitely benefits Russian economy, and of course targets can shift, but this important oil cooperation stays in place and is an important stability factor.
What's the ideal price for Russia?
Well, I'm not in predicting ideal prices. I think it's very important that oil prices remain stable and allow for investments. Definitely the current oil price is a good, attractive oil price, and we need to avoid oil shocks that may happen if Iran has additional issues. So again, coordination mechanism of OPEC Plus with Russia is an incredibly powerful, positive mechanism for the world economy.
We have the G20 energy minister meeting coming next week. Will the Russian energy minister meet with the Saudi minister there?
Well, I think more importantly, we have a Russian-Saudi soccer game coming up, which will be the opening game for the FIFA World Cup. So we may have even some discussions there. There are ongoing discussions between us and Saudi Arabia on a number of issues, and we are looking forward to the great Russian-Saudi cooperation in many fields.
Well, let's talk about that soccer match, or football match, as you would call it. As I understand it, President Putin will meet with Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Will oil be on the agenda when they talk with one another?
Well, let's wait until the football match to find out. We'll find out the score and we'll find out the future of oil.
Well, why don't you predict the score? As long as you're here, who's going to win?
No forward-looking statements. Again, I think it's very important that, for example, Saudi invested jointly with us about 1.8 billion in different projects in Russian infrastructure and different other sectors. We expect to have Russian companies be present in Saudi as well. So that's a very new partnership for us, and it shows that geopolitical cooperation allows to solve issues together.